You clicked on this video because you wanted to learn how to get qualified B2B and B2C leads from YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok. Mostly Instagram though. And you want to learn how to get results like this, and even this after a long time of posting consistent, high quality content that speaks directly to your ideal clients. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is show you step one, which is identifying your ICP. Let's get right into it, right? The first thing that you want to do when it comes to creating these pieces of content is ask yourself, who is your ideal client or customer, right? You want to associate traits with these people. What traits do these people have? So for example, let's say you're in the health and fitness industry and you are targeting older people, right? So for example, you're targeting 40 to 50-year-old men and women, right? Their pain is maybe that they are fat, right? And they want to lose weight. So their desire would be to lose weight, right? They want that to go down. Their fears, for example, could be maybe they don't have enough time to lose that weight, right? They don't have the time to work out. They have a busy work life, a busy family, whatever. That could be an example of their fear. So they have the fear of spending too much time losing that weight. So you want to angle your videos in a way and also make sure you have an angled offer that speaks to these actual clients. And then their motivators could be maybe they want to lose weight so they look good. They want to lose weight because they want to look good for their family and be healthy and live longer. So those are all examples of traits that your ideal clients can have, right? The next thing you want to do is look at how your ICP interacts with your competitors' pages. So if you are in the health and fitness niche, for example, you want to look at the best performing Instagram accounts in your actual niche, right? And see what is working for them. So that's on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, right? And the other thing that you want to do is reverse engineer your ideal client profile's traits into video ideas. So for example, if you're in the health and fitness industry and your pain and your ideal client has the typical pain of, being overweight, then you want to make a video according to that, right? Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you is this funnel right here. This is pretty much everywhere. You can get this information anywhere. This is tofu, mofu, and bofu. This stands for top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, right? So what you basically want to do is on all platforms, specifically Instagram though, because that's where you get the most conversions. What you basically want to do is you want to have content that is speaking to every part of the funnel. So for example, top of the funnel content could be entertaining content as well as middle of the funnel content. But then the closer you get to the bottom of the funnel, you want to have more informative content, right? Content that gives value and also has call to actions as well in the videos. And that's what these arrows represent, right? The further down you get into the funnel, and you want to make content that speaks to all of these parts of the funnel, right? You want to have content, you want to be able to angle yourself in every part of the funnel so that you can actually convert leads into customers. You want to have entertaining videos, pretty surface level stuff so you can attract a broad niche, you can attract a broad number of people. And then further down the funnel, once you already have viewers and followers, then you want to start providing the value and get into the more informative stuff, get into the call to actions, show people how their issues and how their pains can be fixed, how they can achieve their desires and get over their fears and find those motivators, if that makes any sense at all, right? So that's step one, identifying your ICP. Now we move on to step two, which is preparing your content, right? As we already covered up here, you want to engineer your ICP traits into video ideas and also look at how your ICP interacts with your competitors' pages. If we come down to here, we want to research the best topics in our niche. The best way to do that is by literally looking at your competitors, right? So again, if you're in the health and fitness niche, I know I use that example a lot, but if you're in that niche, look at the best performing fitness coaches in that niche, look at what's best working for them, and then copy their strategies, right? Maybe copy their hooks, copy their scripting structure, right? But then offer your unique solution in those videos, right? So that way you can get the success that they're already getting while also having it be being somewhat unique, right? Then you also want to make sure is what your ICP is interacting well with. So you want to research the best topics in your niche and research the best strategies in your niche. I should also add strategies, right? I'll just write it ST, for example. You also want to make sure it's what your ICP interacts well with. So make sure if you are targeting 40 to 50-year-old men and women who want to lose weight because they're fat, then make sure that you are creating the content that actually interacts well with them, right? Even more research is required for that. Then we move on to the framework that I like to call ICEP, which is an extremely basic and extremely easy framework that I use for every single one of my top performing videos, right? It's ideation, scripting, editing, posting. Simple as that. Literally the easiest framework on this planet, right? When it comes to creating short form content that converts, follow this exact framework. It's this simple, right? Ideation is literally what we already covered. Researching best topics, brainstorming the best ways to actually approach your niche and hit all angles of the funnel that we already spoke to. The top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. The next thing we want to do is scripting, right? So the best way, let me actually show you some sauce as well. Literally the best way to structure any script, let me just turn this black. The best way to structure literally any script is hook, body, it just went blue again, whatever, CTA, right? This simple, literally this simple. That's all you do, right? You find a hook, you research the best performing hooks in your niche, and then you use it, and then test different ones, right? And then, use the one that works more often, and of course restructure so you're not making the exact same video every single time, because then you'll look like an NPC, right? You'll just have a bunch of the same exact video. But then you want to have a body as well. Again, research the best topics, but then you also want to provide your own solution and make sure that in the body you are addressing the pain points that your client could be facing, your ideal client, the desires that they might want, and then how you can actually, help them achieve these desires that they want and avoid the pains and avoid the fears, right? Then the call to action, which the call to action is going to be relevant to whatever your goal is. So for example, if you're a coach and you are looking to book more leads in if you're looking to book more calls in, if you're a coach, then you want to have a system for that, right? You want to have an inbound system so that you can actually attract these organic leads through the call to action. The best way to do that is by far comments, right? You pretty much see it everywhere. Like, I do it through comments as well. For example, comment $, and I will send you this, or I will send you this link into my free program, right? And then they go into the free program, they get funneled into a paid program on the back end, for example. So this is what my guy Tama is doing. He's selling like a $1 thing, and then a bunch of people comment $, like that, and then they of course get thrown into a free thing, and then they're nurtured, and then they get thrown into a paid thing later. Of course, the conversion rate is obviously going to be not exactly this, right? But of course, the best qualified and the people who are sold on it are going to be in this high ticket paid program. Same thing with this guy. This guy sells an info product. People want access to the info product, so they get funneled into that. And then same thing with this guy. He sells a free training and then has a paid thing on the back end. Of course, lower ticket, and then a bunch of people comment, right? So the best way to do that is through comments, and you can also link tools such as ManyChat so you can automate the process of actually nurturing the people that come in from comments. But you don't have to do that. Of course, it's best if you have a pretty large Instagram account, you or have a large volume of leads coming in. Then you can absolutely do that. It's completely up to you though. And some people don't even use ManyChat. Some people just have a funnel directly in their bio, such as a link, like click the link below or click the link in my bio. Sometimes it's their call to action. Literally, you can do any of those things. Now, I already scrolled down to step 3, which is strategize your funnel, right? Strategize your funnel. So that ties into the call to action. This is a very simple step. Make sure you add a call to action in your Instagram, your TikTok, and your YouTube bio. So for example, this is my client right here. He has the call to action DM info. He's telling people to DM info to help people and get them funneled into his actual product, right? And then he has a link below. So another example of this could be DM me start for free training. So DMs and comments are very important and very key when it comes to call to actions. They just work the best. And the thing is, when you also get people to comment, it also boosts the engagement on the video. So then Instagram will just promote it more. So it's just kind of a win-win. You get leads, and then also Instagram pushes your video more, so you get more leads, right? But that's that step. Then you move on to this step, which is adding a call to action and in the video and in the description of the video. So this is another thing that I commonly do, is you want to add the call to action somewhere in the video, usually at the very end or second last to the end, right? You don't really want to have it at the beginning, because then people will be already enticed. They see the call to action, they're already, okay, well, the video's probably done, and then they scroll. But if you have it close enough to the end, but then you can still see that the video's not quite finished, then people will stay. And then of course, if it's at the very end, then people will stay until the very end to get that actual call to action, right? So that they can actually get the result that they want, or the problem that they have, they want that fixed. So this is an example, again, same person. This is a very simple little call to action. I just covered it up. Whoops. There we go. Comment elite for access. Then you got people commenting elite, of course, for the access to the product. And then you come down here. Of course, these are the 3 steps, literally only 3 steps. Very simple. Again, if you need to rewatch this video, it's very, very basic, free, simple stuff. And anybody can do this, right? Now, if you come down here, of course, all of this can be done entirely for you. And before I get into this, I first want to explain that the strategy that I just showed you, right, it is extremely simple to do, especially when it comes to these frameworks and strategizing a funnel. Anybody can do this, and it is extremely simple to do. But the problem is, it's not easy, especially if you're running an entire business whilst also strategizing for your content. That's the problem, is that most people, right, they simply don't have the time to actually run an entire business full time and also handle their marketing in every aspect of that marketing, right? They might not have time to post every single day on their pages. They might not have time to get videos out on all 3 of these platforms, which I recommend. You can also post on LinkedIn also, by the way. They don't have time to do that, right? They don't have time to do all this niche research and all this ideation to think of video ideas, right? Some people, they're not brain dead, but their brain's exhausted from all the work that they're already doing, and that could be you, right? You might not have time to create, high converting scripts or edit high converting videos with high converting hooks, right? You might not even have time to post, which is interesting, but scheduling out posts and having posts for every single day, that's different, right? And some people just simply don't have the time to do that. And that's where I come in. That's the solution that I can actually help you with. If you're watching this still, the thing that I want you to understand is, imagine if you could have all of this being done on the back end while also being able to run your business full time. And that's pretty much where I come in, right? So essentially, if you're a coach that's doing above you're maybe around 5 to 10,000 followers, and you're looking to scale past that point and actually turn your social media into something that is able to generate you leads consistently every single month, while also having a brand that builds authority on 3+ different platforms, then let me know. Book a one-to-one call below and have the entire process taken care of for you professionally, because that's exactly what I'm best at. Imagine if you're just able to run your business full time, knowing that you have this entire system in place and you barely even have to touch it yourself, and you are posting consistent, high quality, high converting videos out every single day, while it's also being properly managed and dealt with professionally. You have videos angled strategically to hit every part of the funnel. You have entertaining videos that also show your and express your authenticity. And you have informative videos that assert your authority in your brand. And you have this brand that is constantly building you authority while also generating you leads inbound consistently every single month, just like these people up here. So let me know, book a one-to-one call below and have this entire process taken care of, completely done for you professionally, right? You'll never have to worry about this ever again. Think about it. But otherwise, if you choose not to book a call, totally fine. Here is the framework. Again, watch through the video again. If you need the exact framework, I'll just erase all this. You can take screenshots, you can do whatever. But I appreciate you watching until the very end of the video. And if you enjoyed this video, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys so much. Take care.